Love is in the air in the Maltz Jupiter Theater's Real Brief, featuring an exciting update on the theater's build-out. Black theater history with Dana Munson. 1 year later with the cast of Chicago. A straight from the heart Drinking with Jay. And introducing Kelly's Construction Quiz Show. All of this in our February edition of Real Brief.
We have reached the dramatic conclusion of the demolition phase at the Maltz Jupiter Theater. At the front of the building, the process of site clearing began, which included the removal of our awning and exterior entrance to prepare for the construction of our porte-cochere. Most noticeably, a critical cut was made between the stage tower and the theater house to pave the way for the stage tower to be taken down. The impressive piece of equipment used for demolition is a Volvo high-reach demolition excavator. The excavator's power claw can cut through the theater's concrete walls with ease, making quick work of the progress. The old proscenium was peeled away from the building, along with the remaining steel supports. The entire stage tower was brought down over the course of 2 days. The final piece to be removed was the south-facing wall that used to hold our Maltz Jupiter Theater sign. As the wall came down, it was a moment to treasure the fond memories of all the great work we have been able to accomplish on our stage, and the beginning of the limitless possibilities that lay ahead of us.
Hello everyone, my name is Dana Munson, the Director of Marketing of the Maltz Jupiter Theater. And in this month, we celebrate Black history and the many accomplishments of African Americans, particularly those who made history in the performing arts. These artistic pioneers and their groundbreaking contributions paved the way for Black actors, musicians, writers, and dancers to legitimize their place in the echelons of artistic expression and helped build the foundation of musical theater as we know it today. In 1921, at the dawn of the Harlem Renaissance, a groundbreaking new musical entitled Shuffle Along premiered on Broadway. It would change theater history forever. On May 23rd of that year, the 63rd Street Musical Hall filled with patrons eager to see the new sensation, written by the famous comedy duo of Flournoy Miller and Aubrey Lyles, with music and lyrics by popular vaudeville team Nobel Sisso and U.B. Blake. The creative team's background inspired a comedic storyline that spoke to the mainstream taste of the day. Despite a debt incurred during the production's grueling national tour, its Broadway run exceeded expectations, quickly becoming a hit so big that police had to convert 63rd Street into a one-way thoroughfare during showtimes. As the show picked up steam, this review proved to producers and theater managers that audiences would pay to see African American talent on Broadway. Shuffle Along also inspired revolutionary changes to Broadway as Black audiences were permitted to sit in the orchestra rather than being relegated to the balcony. The show also gave several stage legends their first big breaks, including Paul Robeson, Florence Mills, and a 16-year-old Josephine Baker, who emerged as an instant star. Other Broadway producers, including those of the Ziegfeld Follies, were so impressed that they hired several of the Shuffle Along performers to give pointers to their choruses. The impact of Shuffle Along rippled through Broadway, with 15 African American musicals opening between 1921 and 1931. President Harry Truman even picked a Shuffle Along song for his campaign anthem, I'm Just Wild About Harry. The African American musicals of this era, especially Shuffle Along, are of great importance to the history of American musical theater, and the many talented African American artists during the Harlem Renaissance helped to establish a form that was not imported from Europe or the English stage, but was indigenous to the United States. These seminal African American works continue to inspire artists of every color throughout the world today.
Welcome back to Drinking with Jay. This month, if you want to show your loved one that you care for them on Valentine's Day, it's typical to give them a gift, buy them flowers, or if you have a sweet tooth, give them chocolates. That heart-shaped box of pleasure can also be enjoyed in drink form, and that's what we're making today, the Godiva Chocolate Martini. What you'll need for this drink is Godiva chocolate liqueur, creme de cacao, vanilla-flavored vodka, half and half, and chocolate syrup for your garnish. First of all, get your handy-dandy shaker out and fill it with ice, and then pour in your ingredients. 1 1/2 ounces of Godiva chocolate liqueur, 1 1/2 ounces of creme de cacao, 1/2 ounce of the vanilla-flavored vodka, and 2 1/2 ounces, half and half. Make sure your lid is nice and tight so you don't lose any tasty drops, and give it a really good shake for maybe about 10 seconds to get it nice and cold. And then pour. Don't miss a drop. And then for your garnish of chocolate syrup, you can make a nice little squiggle, or if you're really talented, a heart at the top. I just do the squiggle because I'm not that talented. And there you have it. Happy Valentine's Day, and enjoy. To get directions to make this drink, go to jupitertheater.org/cocktail_recipe. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Kelly Morgan, and this is Kelly's Construction Quiz. Steel scaffolding was installed all around the building to to make sure certain walls stayed in place while the rest of them get torn down. If you were to bundle up all of that steel, about how much would it weigh? A cow. B, an African elephant. C, a humpback whale. Or D, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And the answer is C. The total weight of the scaffolding used is 68,000 pounds, which is around the average weight of an adult humpback whale. During construction, there is a team of fire watch and security personnel who patrol the perimeter of the building multiple times a day. About how far do they walk by the end of the day? A, 1 mile. B, 3 miles. C, 5 miles. Or D, I'm just tired thinking about it. Shoo! And if you guess B, you would be correct. The Fire Watch security personnel walk the building 48 times a day, every 30 minutes, 7 days a week. That's just about 3.5 miles a day. Taking down the stage tower required some very special equipment, specifically a Volvo high-reach demolition excavator. How high can one of those reach? A, an incredible 15 stories. B, 11 stories. C, 8 stories. Or D, 3 stories. And the answer is B. And the cost to buy this amazing piece of equipment is a whopping $1 million. How many man-hours have been devoted to the demolition of the building so far? A, 1,831. B, 13. C, 5,000. Or D, I don't know, but they've been busier than a squirrel in a bucket of acorns. And the answer is A, 1,831. And this includes erecting the scaffolding and the crews that have been charged of the demolition of the building. Now, let's get back to work.
Chicago originally opened in 1975 and ran for 936 performances, with Cheetah Rivera as Velma Kelly and Gwen Verdon as Roxy Hart. What many consider to be a perfect musical, it was overshadowed with another musical with the Tony Award win going to A Chorus Line, which went on to become the longest-running musical at that time. The 1996 revival of Chicago, which was still running before COVID-19 closed Broadway, has been running ever since and has become the longest-running Broadway revival in history. The Maltz Jupiter Theater's production, which ran this time last year, was a critical and box office hit, selling out all seats before the production even opened. Its fresh, reimagined production was directed and choreographed by two-time Tony nominee Dennis Jones and featured stellar performances by Sarah Bowden, Nicholas Dromard, Altamise Cooper, and Anna McNeely. Let's take a look.
Find a flask, we're playing fast and loose.
And all that jazz.
Right up here is where I store the juice.
And all that jazz.
Hold on, hon, we're gonna brush the sky. I bet you're lucky Lindy never flew so high. 'Cause in the stratosphere, how could she lend an ear to all that jazz? No, I'm no one's wife, but I love my life and all that jazz.
Welcome, everyone. What a difference a year makes, huh? I'm dying to know what you've all been up to since we were together last. So let's start with Dennis. What have you been up to, Dennis?
Well, not much. The big event of this year for me, and one that like this much downtime affords, it's like one of the upsides of this like crazy year that we've been all sharing together, is that I got both of my hips replaced.
Oh my goodness!
I know, right? I mean, if you spend a lifetime kicking your face, like the hips will at a certain point catch up with you. It's something that I had meant to do for a number of years. And it seemed like the perfect time, so I got the right one done, then I got the left one done, and now I'm ready to go.
So are you
Bionic Man?
Are you kicking the same way you did before?
Well, I don't know if I'm kicking quite the same way as I did before, but I'm certainly kicking and free of pain.
Excellent. How about you, Sarah?
Oh, my year's been a little crazy. So I was in New York, and I decided to drive across the country because I hadn't seen some of the country. So I bought a van, a plumber's van. I gutted it. I put a bed inside of it, a kitchen sink, well, a version of a kitchen sink. And I drove myself across America. Like, I went to all of your national parks. I went to Montana. I went to Wyoming. Yellowstone. I spent like 2 weeks. I almost died with a mountain lion. I saw a mountain lion. It was like 4 feet in front of my face. I just froze. I was like, oh my God, it's just a moment. But it was amazing. I saw elk and buffalo and, and then I landed in Boise, Idaho. I was on my way to California because I thought I wanted to find the beach because, I'm a beach kid from Australia.
Indeed.
And then I landed in Boise, and I thought, this is a really cool place. I think I'm going to stay. So now I'm here. I'm teaching kids how to dance, which I've never done before, and it's like so unbelievably rewarding. They're so cute. These 11-year-olds, and I'm their substitute teacher. When they see me, they start jumping up and down and clapping their hands and hugging me. They're so cute.
That's what I do when I see you. Nicholas, I see you on Facebook, but it looks like you've been doing some online work.
Yes. My wife and I have a cabaret act. We had created a show 5 years ago that was in Sonoma, and then we were all scheduled to do it at 54 Below in New York before the pandemic hit, and then it got canceled. So we said, hey, let's bring this online. So we've been doing our act online, and every 6 to 8 weeks we do a different living room concert. And so we've had the pleasure of staying creative that way, and we're figuring out what the next step is in this crazy world.
Altamise, I haven't seen you, my friend. How have you been?
I know. I have been keeping on. I'm at home in Michigan, spending a lot of time with my family. I am actually a substitute teacher, but I'm in a long-term world history position. World history is not my thing. But I'm there for the whole year teaching. I'm also going back to college to finish my bachelor's after 20 years of not going to a school.
Good for you. Wow.
So doing that, and that's kind of something cool that the pandemic has, taught me. I also love to bake. I've learned that. I am creative as far as baking.
But what I love about the way our industry has done their pivot is that so many people are teaching online and elsewhere, and I think it just really speaks to how wonderful our industry is about passing that torch to the next generation, and it's been so fulfilling for everyone. Anna, I know that you teach a lot as well. What else have you been up to?
Putting rose-colored glasses on my nose, and everything looks so much better.
Still got it.
I
now
love you.
that I can really see. Actually, getting organized. The time to just go through things, pitching, giving away, and just, I think I know where everything I own is. That's an amazing thing, because I got a lot of stuff.
I've cleaned out a few closets myself, so you have all that extra time, and it's like let's just organize. Well, let's get started with a few questions. Chicago has been around for a while with very successful revival on Broadway and a very strong movie starring Renee Zellweger and Catherine Zeta-Jones. In rethinking the Maltz Jupiter Theater's production, Dennis, what was your approach to making it fresh and original the way it became?
I think in some ways, with the success of the movie, people's relationship with that material changed a little bit, or at least grew, or I just think people kind of became familiar with it in a sort of a different way, and so I felt like in creating the production for the Maltz Jupiter Theater, it would be wise to sort of honor various expectations of what the Chicago experience is. And the Broadway revival, which was very spare and elegant and kind of like in black and white and very little, scenery and stuff. I was interested in creating a production that was sort of more fully designed in some ways. And again, that is nothing, I'm in no way being critical of that Broadway revival because I think it's absolutely genius. Yeah. But I think for your audience, for your space, and really for the incredible cast that we put together, it just felt like I want to see what this is like, in color and in 3D and just kind of play around with it in a new way.
Sarah and Nicholas, you stepped into iconic roles as Velma Kelly and Billy Flynn. That could be a trap given people's memory of the show. What did you bring to your part that both honored the original yet was different on what's been done before?
To be able to bring your kind of skills, and what's great about Dennis and the team was that we were able to bring ourselves. It wasn't like, oh, you have to do this and you have to be the mold of what I think this role. We were able to bring the Nicholas Dramard flair and guide it into the what his vision, and also was working with the actor. So I just love being able to create a role with those dynamics inside it.
Yeah, good. Sarah, how about you?
Oh, this is a really hard question for me because this is like a role that I've wanted to play since I was a kid, right? Like I saw a production of Chicago with my favorite ever Velma, Caroline O'Connor in Australia. Like Caroline O'Connor is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I do today. She's her coming out of the stage in that very first moment in that original production, in that bossy position and walking forward really slinkily. I was just like done. I was done. I was like, this is it. I want to be that woman. Who is she? And so for me to be able to embody that and then just let it be whatever it was in me and however that came out, I didn't really think about it too much. I kind of just went with it.
Right.
That was incredible to just have that freedom to trust that Dennis knew that what was in me was the right essence for that role and to just be myself, and then it would find its way, in line with those other amazing women. So,
well, I remember your audition very well, and I can tell you, Dennis and I fell in love with you immediately, and so did our audiences down here. So, so amazing. All right, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the keeper of the keys, the countess of the clink, the mistress of Murderers Row, matron Mama Morton. Let's take a look.
Matron Mama Morton.
Ask any of the chickies in my pen. They'll tell ya I'm the biggest mother hen. I love them all and all of them love me. Because the system works, the system called reciprocity. Good to mama, mama's good to you. There's a lot of favors I'm prepared to do. You do one for mama, she'll do one for you. They say that life is tit for tat, and that's the way I live. So I deserve a lot of tat for what I got to give. Don't you know that this head washes that one too? When you're good to mama, mama's good to you. When you're good to mama,
Ultimis, you were first at the Maltz Jupiter Theater and brought the house down during our production of Hairspray. Both characters you portrayed are strong women with clear journeys. Are there individuals that you drew inspiration from when you were in rehearsals and developing your take on the roles?
Absolutely. The strength, just pulling the strength from all the women in my family, my mother, her sisters, and they've always been these strong figures who just were so proud of who they were. And so drawing from that, and also drawing from historical figures, especially different, for me personally, different Black women who've gone through history, portraying the strength of what it means to be not only Black, but a woman. It was just such an amazing thing to be able to come to this fresh creative process, as I had just come from doing the show a couple months beforehand at a different theater, and just to have a completely different experience as far as creating this whole brand new take on this character was just an amazing experience.
Wonderful. Well, we loved it too. In the original and revival Broadway productions of Chicago, Little Mary Sunshine was revealed to be a man, adding to the notion that we're not always sure what we're seeing. This concept was abandoned for our production to strong results. Anna, how did that influence your performance?
The direction from Dennis was amazing because, along with what I had read in the Fosse book, that everybody has the evil side or the good side. They don't always show their real side. So that just a light bulb went off with Mary Sunshine, because thinking that, that she wants her audience to think that she's just the sweetest person. And then it's like, give me that script! She has that little kind of thing going on there. And that's all his direction. That was like, that's where she fits in as far as not being what people see. And when a male did it, he reveals himself, but she kind of reveals it through her number, that she's not what everybody thinks she is. And that's Dennis's direction, and God bless you. You're the best.
God bless you.
Yeah.
So good, so good.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
The current Broadway revival has used stars in various roles, which some critics have referred to as stunt casting. To end today, I'd like to go around the group and find out what star you would cast and in what role that has never been done before. All right, so a couple seconds to think about what that would be. Nicholas.
Yes, I have one,
Okay,
because
go.
I have this idea of doing a gender-bending production of Chicago, where Jen Colella plays Billie Flynn, Billie, and she comes out and is,
All right.
She'd be fine with that.
Ultimis, what about you?
Okay, so I have two, because I had one and then you said something, I was like, ooh. So I would love to see Idris Elba play Billie Flynn. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, I think RuPaul would be a killer Velma. Velma.
I agree. How about you, Anna? Any ideas there?
Well,
you
if
can
she
help
was
out
young,
the Weislers?
Yeah, that's right. I did work for them. I would say, I'm just thinking of my role. Yeah, I would say probably a younger, Julie Andrews, which would be such a surprise to see if she could really be that other part, or Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury can do anything.
Yeah.
We can put her in any musical. Sarah, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I want to see Liza Minnelli play Velma. That's what I want to see, because she's genius.
All right, we'll
favorite,
get right on
it's
that.
Not very interesting.
I'm gonna sign her up. We're gonna do it again, and Liza Minnelli's gonna play all the roles with sock puppets. So.
All right.
As the song goes, in Chicago, all I care about is love, and that is true for me today. I love all of you for being here. Thank you for joining us. This was a great visit back to a year ago. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So good to see you guys.
Take care.